Hi, I'm Tom.
I'm Kerry, and this is a Casual Hiker's Guide.
Welcome to our YouTube channel where we document some of our favourite walks around the country.
We're no bushcraft experts.
We're not athletes.
Clearly. And we want to show you that you don't have to be to enjoy the outdoors.
For us, nature is immensely good for both our physical and mental health. I think that you might find that if you give it a go, it'll be that way for you too.
So follow along and join us as we head outdoors.
Good morning, I'm Tom. You should know by now this is a Casual Hiker's Guide, unless you haven't seen one of the other videos I suppose. Who knows, maybe I'll upload them in a weird order and this will be the first one. That'll be confusing. Well, second one, not counting the... to lift that gate then, Todmorden hike. So I've been here before. I'm a little bit nervous about what I'm about to do. No, well, I mean, I'm a little bit nervous about the wild camp. But I've got this big bag on my back. Fairly heavy. I mean, I'm not very good at ultralight. I mean, I've got a super light tent and a super light sleeping bag. But I've got to climb that there. That is steep. You can't really tell on the camera, but it is really, really steep. And I remember last time I wasn't sure and I ended up going down this way, this path. I mean, let's give it a go, right? Right, the worst case scenario, it feels a bit much and I have to come down. It just looks really steep. Maybe it's not as bad as it looks. I'll try and tackle this, see how it goes, and then update you either from the top or from here again. Alright, if you do come this way from down there, I've still got the steep bit up there to go, but it doesn't actually look as bad as I think, because I'll explain in a minute. Right against the wall here, there's a stile. When I came through the gate at the bottom, I saw a public footpath type gate. So I went up to use that, and then found that it was padlocked shut for some reason. I don't really understand why, because this is a public footpath. It might be to try and stop, because I know that the scree faces up here have nesting birds and things, I think, from memory. So it might be to try and stop people scrambling and force them through this gate, because I was going to do the scramble. That's all I could see as a route, but there's not. There's a path here. So, you know, it makes my life a lot easier. So I'm going to follow this up to what I'm assuming is a full summit, because there's no way I can be topping out this early on. Just no way. Even the smallest ones I've done have been bigger than this, so yeah, we'll see where I get to from there. But thank God for this path. I mean, it's a little bit scrambly, a few little rocks here and there, but otherwise, nothing that you can't do with a big backpack anyway. try and get that breathing under control, just whilst I sit down for a second. Absolute calf burner. I don't actually think I'm that far from the top. That's probably a false summit that you can see there, but I think I could see the top. I think it was where I thought it was before. And I was like, hey, it's not that high. It's got to be further. I don't think it is further. I think it was just higher than I thought. And it has been a pretty nice path, actually. So if you are deciding to do this, don't get put off. So, down here is where I park my car. We're doing a loop, so we're going this way, all the way around. We're coming up here, and these craggy bits here, I believe, is where our tarn is. And then tomorrow, I'll be going further along, down, up here to this reservoir, or lake, and then along the ground back to the car park. That's the plan anyway. That was harder than I expected. Turns out it was a false summit. And then another false summit. I thought I was coming up to the top and I could just see like what you might think is a raggedy trig point, but it was not. This is the top. I go out that way and across up to there. I'm pretty sure you can't see it, but there's a little knobbly bit out there, which is I can't remember the name of it. One of the biggest trig points in Lake District, if not the biggest. And then all the way around the back and over. Everything is as you'd expect. The lakes are, as always, beautiful. You could see just great all round. Great views. It is a bit brown, I guess, at the moment. In the summer, or even a bit more into spring, I expect all of this to be a lot more luscious and green. But that's probably about it. The only difference to expect, or maybe more birds and things around, or bugs. So behind me here, along this bit, this is all the Kentmere horseshoe around this way. Again, I can't remember any of the names of them. Piker? No. I'm going to get them wrong if I try and say them. But, you get quite a few peaks in if you're doing it this way. So you'd start over the other side, you'd come up here, and then over these, around the back. You don't have to do High Street, which is just there, but I did add that in when I did it, and it wasn't that much of a detour or that difficult. Kentmere horseshoe, great. And for me, second summit of the day. So that was starting to get a bit cold. Popped on the hat, looking smart, as always. Guarantee I'll be too warm in a minute. So down there's a path that goes up the hill onto the top. And it doesn't look it on the camera, but that is so steep. I remember last time going up and just having to take breaks. I'll just have to do the same again, just take breaks on the way up. I mean, this wouldn't be a terrible place to wild camp. Depending on how the ground is down there, maybe. It's pretty sheltered. There's like a little rocky area, but I need to march on. I can't just do a 3-mile day or whatever it is that I've done. And additionally, I'm going to need to make sure I've got somewhere where there is water. just been up to High Street, which I think might be my highest point of the day. It's all frozen up here at the moment, which is making, I guess, me a little bit anxious. It doesn't feel too bad. Like I could sit in my regular sleeping bag at this temperature and feel alright. I wouldn't feel great, but I'd feel alright. So this new sleeping bag will hopefully do the job. If anybody wants to know what it is, I will show you later. I have a few items that are new, including the shoes, which you've probably seen already. So I'll go through all of that stuff when the tent's set up. Plus, I mean, to be fair, as well, you haven't seen my setup at all. I used it on the Great Glen Way last year, so this will all be completely new because I'm recording it now. Hopefully the rest of my day isn't too mental. I will have a bit of climbing to do, but I think you can see it. So I don't know if you can, but just down there in the distance there is a tarn. A bit lower down. That's Angletarn, I believe. And that is where I will be spending the night. I love these, the way that the mountains open out up here, and you just get these drop-offs, these big cliffs. They're just like, it's pretty and quiet. It's nice when you come from living in a really, suburban area, urban area. It's nice coming out to somewhere where there's just nothing. Ooh. There is my slip of the day. Caught on camera. Good. So, I'm a bit snotty. I don't know if you noticed. The temperature is in the plus at the moment, but it feels like it's in the minus. Like my hands are genuinely just tingling at the moment, just holding this camera. Not much further now. The last time I came through here, the wind was so bad, it was just blowing me over. So, huge confidence booster that I'm not getting blown over. So yeah, not too far now. Get the tent set up, and then start to get cozy for the evening. Can't wait. I can't wait to cook some food. Brought 2 meals with me. I don't know what I'm going to have. We'll see. First view of Angletarn. I've taken a slight detour. I'm going up to Brock Crag just to make sure that it is bagged. Just get to that top point there, and then I have to head back the same way because the path goes along that back bit there, up there and down, and then I'm not sure where I'm going to part ways with the path for a wild camp. I'll have a wander round, try and pick a spot. A lot of people camp on that little cliff top bit. That's it. Anyway. Whew. Okay, so before I take my shoes off, I thought I'd give you a little tour of my tent. This is the Terra Nova Compact. I think it's the Compact 2, but it doesn't really look roomy enough for 2 people. I've always suspected it's the Compact 1, but either way, there's enough space for me in here. I've used this tent a few times, easy to set up, super lightweight, just a really great tent. I absolutely love it. People always say it's a bit small, but I think if you're just here to, camp, sleep, eat, do all the things that you need to do, like that extra level of comfort isn't really, to me, worth the extra weight. So I do. Plus I seem to carry loads of weight anyway. I don't really know where it all comes in. Probably like the flip-flops or something. I don't know, the camera. But then I carry those in my hands and around my neck, so I don't really, like I said, I don't know where it comes in. Anyway, so I'm trying out a couple of new things. One of the new things are my shoes, which I do want to take off because they are currently wet. The idea of the shoes is that, why did I zoom in on my face? The idea of the shoes is that they aren't waterproof, so that on longer distance trips, if they get wet, then I can dry them out quicker. So that'll be putting that to the test. But the shoes, if I can spin you around, ones I got on here, lovely shoes. These are the Hoka Speedgoat 5s, and so far so good. They've been comfortable all day. My feet have never felt hot or anything like that. Yeah, just really good shoes, very nice. So I'm happy with those, and I reckon that they will do me well on some of those longer distance trails. The other thing that I've got that I'm testing is this. Not the pillow. I've had that for ages, but the sleeping bag. This is one that I've wanted for ages. This is the Parsec sleeping bag. This one goes down to -6 degrees, apparently. So that will be put to the test tonight because it's supposed to get down to about -4. There's some like really cool stuff. Like they've got this extra like padding, and that goes around the front as well, so that when you're in, it stops like wind and stuff getting through, which is great because that's been an issue for me in the past, the sleeping bags when I've had them on. So yeah, that's really good. I was being genuine about the flip-flops, by the way. That is something that I do carry with me, just so I can switch out my shoes and put those on. If I need to go for a wee or something in the night, I can just throw them on, which is great. So I am now going to cook myself some food, make myself hot chocolate, and chill. Read a magazine for a bit until it gets dark. Oh, you probably want to see where I am. That makes sense, doesn't it? This is out my front door. It is pretty busy, so there's a lot of people around. There's some people just camping up at the top there, and another guy camping over there, and that's just what's here so far, so there could be more. But I've got a nice little spot. I'm happy with where I am. It is a bit boggy on the way in, so I need to remember that tomorrow. I need to be a bit careful. If my shoes aren't frozen. Yeah. And then tomorrow, like I say, I don't think I'm going to do any more. The point of this was to test out the sleeping bag, so I don't feel the need to go on another 9-mile hike tomorrow. My body's just not feeling it at the moment. It's not been for the last few weeks. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's not usually the cold. Getting out in the cold's okay. So yeah, so I'll be heading down tomorrow and then getting a nice big breakfast and yeah, having a great Sunday, so can't wait for that. Right, speak soon. That's where I camped. Leave no trace. But how great is that? I camped there at that back wall, which for me is a great achievement because I chickened out last year and didn't do it. I mean, to be fair, like I say, weather was bad, wind was high, etc. But still, it feels good to come back. I have to say, I was just thinking about stuff, but there is nothing quite as exhilarating or amazing as seeing a snow-capped mountain. That's Helvellyn. I'm assuming that close one there might be Catzy Cam? Maybe? It looks like it is. It looks like you come down, that would be Swirl Edge. You go back up Catzy Cam. But Helvellyn just looks absolutely amazing. Just like absolutely stunning in the snow. My personal hiking goals are more about, I don't know, improving who I am as a person, and doing more of what I want to do, improving who I am so that I'm able to do more of what I want to do. So the original plan, there's a hill over that side which you can't see at the moment, but the original plan today was to go and do that one, which is a Wainwright, and tick a couple off. And I did this one today, and just made sure that that one was ticked off. Great. But I wasn't really 100% feeling that one, and I don't feel bad about not doing it, or I'm not forcing myself to do something that I don't want to be doing and be miserable, because actually my goal was to camp where I did, because I did have an anxiety attack last year when I tried to do the same thing. And so yeah, I don't feel bad about it at all. Oh, actually, we can see it as we come around this corner. I'll show you. I'll show you. You can just about make it through this gap here. So that one back there, there's a hell of a climb, and it would have been good fun. But I don't know how my legs would have been and all these sorts of things. And actually, I feel like I've really achieved a lot today and yesterday. I'm just really happy that I came back and I camped and I wild camped. I just stopped at a cafe that I've stopped at before, but I have to say, like, it's so good there. Borrowdale Country Cafe, I think it is. It's really, really good. Really highly recommend. I maybe ate too much though. I had like their large full English breakfast, which had 2 of those, like, is it Lincolnshire sausages? Maybe. The curly ones. I had 2 of those. And then obviously 2 like thick cut rashers of bacon and all that sort of stuff. It was worth me taking the trip to go down there for it. So there you go, recommendation of the day, Borrowdale Country Cafe. Look at that fringe, what's happening? A combination of sleeping weird and wearing a hat all day. It's just left my hair like mental. Last video, because it is actually getting really busy and there are lots of people. So I have definitely injured some toes. I've had to tape them up, but I don't think that's a fault of the shoes. I think that is a fault of me not doing what I would normally do after a long day's hike, which is foot care. Putting on creams, washing my feet, everything else. I just kind of aired them out a bit and then stuck them straight into socks, which, thinking about it, was definitely a mistake. I should have made sure that they were looked after. They don't hurt or anything. I've just added some tape on, and clearly they are a bit raw. I've torn some skin off a few toes, and it's only on the right foot as well, which again makes me think that it was just wet feet and not looking after them last night. Just going straight out and hiking again this morning. You see, that was my start point yesterday, so I haven't got too far to go. Ciao for now. I can't do that every time. I'd have to think up of something better. I will. One day there'll be a sign off that isn't ciao for now. Okay. Bye then.